Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode review. This time, we will be going over the arc finale, maybe even the season finale. It sure felt like the season finale of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode 26, the final part of the two-episode duel between Yuga and Neil. And what did I think about this episode? Well, I thought this was the best duel that we have gotten so far, and I would honestly say that I don't even feel like another duel has come close to the level that this duel reached. And maybe some people will disagree with me on that, but I really felt like the dueling quality that we got in this duel was far beyond a lot of the dueling quality that we have gotten in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's thus far, even going back to last week's episode. But primarily on this week's episode, the strategy of Yuga having to draw his maximum pieces back and then trying to get over Neil's Yuga Dragon with his Sevens Road cards, and then Neil with the trap cards, Paradigm Shift. He kept forcing Yuga to draw and draw, and Yuga is about to get a monster's effect off, that zombie Nana monster, and Neil uses Trap Hole, prevents him from getting the effect off. I just thought the strategy and ultimately the back and forth between these two duelists were just on a level that we frankly have not really seen often in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, and have yet to see, in my opinion, in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. And then, of course, on top of all of the little back and forths, you, of course, have these two maximum monsters being the overarching theme of this duel. And at the end, of course, Yuga is able to reassemble his Optimus Prime, his Super Deity Magnum Overload, and get that final amazing sword slash off where he literally slashes Yuga Dragon in half along with the Goha building. It's such a cool attack animation, such a cool moment, and Yuga is able to get over Yuga Dragon and get the win eventually. But the dueling quality of this duel, especially in this episode, I thought was almost a 10 out of 10. Absolutely phenomenal. The best rush duel that I have yet to see, and I can unequivocally say that pretty confidently. And so from a dueling perspective, episode was phenomenal. From a story perspective, I thought the episode was good. I probably enjoyed the plot of 25 a little bit more. I thought the end of 25, especially the flashback of Yuga creating the maximum cards, was one of the best moments of the show so far. But 26 still was solid. The end makes me very... I'm just concerned because I don't know what's next. And I know I touched on this a lot in my 25 review, and I'm going to touch on it a little later on in my 26 review. Or in this review, I should say. But as Yuga is dueling Neil, he has all the support of his friends, and I actually loved that we saw his two friends from the opening, his two friends from the first episode. They were the ones that were kind of leading the chant that they support Yuga, and 77.7%, 777, of the elementary school would have their accounts banned because they supported Yuga. That is crazy, and even like Roman and Gakuto are stunned that many people supported Rush Duels and are supporting the group, and I cannot tell you how much I related to that in the sense of this channel. Like, when I think of my episode reviews for Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, I think of maybe 100 to 200 people right off the top of my head that will always comment and will always talk about the episode down below. But besides those people, there are literally thousands and thousands of people that watch my episode reviews on a consistent basis, and I have no idea who they are. And yet I love them and appreciate them just as much as the people who comment. And I really do mean that, guys. So if you're watching this, thank you. And you just don't realize how many people support you from the shadows and how many people support you behind the scenes that you don't even see and you don't even get to meet. And when push comes to shove, these are people that would stick up for you and would defend you and your content, or in this case, Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels. And that was something that I really enjoyed hearing and watching, because it just really hit home for me. And I compared it really was very easy to compare that moment to what I experienced with this channel and what I experienced with Yu-Gi-Oh! On my own aspect and terms. So thank you guys for that, for always supporting me, even people that I don't really know who you are, just know that I do greatly appreciate it. And I thought that was really nice, and it shows how widespread Rush Duels have come. Remember, very early on, they were trying to get interviewed in the newspaper because they wanted to promote Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels. And now, 20 episodes after that, 77% of the school not only enjoy Rush Duels, but are willing to have their accounts terminated just to voice that support for Yuga and for his friends. That is dedication. That is a fan base. Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels in the Sevens universe is spreading like wildfire. And Neil, I think, even realizes that at the end of this episode. Obviously, Yuga defeats Neil, and Neil was great to watch, man. The voice acting was incredible. Obviously, Kirito's voice actor, so you knew he was going to put in work, and he put in a great performance in this duel. The angry attacks, the calm trap activations, it was all really cool to watch, and Neil is going to be a focal point because Neil gets defeated, and he loses his account. That was not a twist that I saw coming, and I gotta be honest, I wish that they told us at the beginning of this duel that Neil was putting his account on the line. Then I would have thought, and I think a lot of people would have thought, oh crap, maybe Neil isn't gonna lose this. If Neil is putting his own account on the line, maybe he's not gonna lose this. So, to be honest, I don't mind that they went down that route. I just wish that they told us in episode 25 at the beginning of the duel. I wish that Neil showed Yuga his duel disc and said, this is how confident I am, and gave himself 5 penalties. I think that would have honestly added to the atmosphere of the duel and the episode. So I thought that was a rare missed opportunity, to be completely honest. And I think watching that duel, knowing that whoever lost would lose their account, I think that would have added a lot of just... You know, they went down that route anyway, so I think that just would have added a lot of drama and tension, and I'm kind of disappointed that they didn't do that, but they still went down the path of having Neil lose his account based on losing to Yuga, and man, I gotta tell you, I'm gonna miss Neil, and that's why I'm a little nervous, because the things that Neil did for Yuga and this show was much needed. He grounded this cast a little bit in reality. He forced Yuga to move forward, and he pushed Yuga unlike we have seen any character pushed so far in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sevens, and the fact that he is not dueling probably means that he does not have too much of a future in this show, which makes sense. Even though I'm going to miss him, it makes sense. And it rings true to what Neil has stood for this entire time. Neil fought Yuga, challenged Rush Duels to remind himself and prove to himself that his providence is the one thing that will always reign supreme. Rush Duels are not part of his providence, therefore Rush Duels are minuscule, they are irrelevant, they will die, and they will become completely forgotten about by everyone. And he found an adversary in Yuga and Yuga's road and his path forward, and creating a new road that challenged his providence. And so he had to go out and make sure that his providence still reigned supreme. And at the very end of this duel, as he was taking that final attack, he realized that his providence no longer was the ultimate being, was the ultimate thing that decided what's good and what's not and what's right and what's wrong, but rather, for the first time in his life, someone's own destiny and own providence, if you will, in Yuga's road surpassed him. And once that happened, it fittingly so, because Neil has not been an evil character, Neil has not been an angry, unhinged character at all, so this fits what he is. He basically says, I lost, I'm done dueling, at least for now, probably, well, maybe forever, but he's got the power to get rid of those strikes on his own duel desk. I think he's going to be out of the show for a very long time, maybe for the foreseeable future, maybe the entire show. I hope I'm wrong about that, but I think Neil's role will be very, very much reduced going forward, because I think his purpose, it has already been completed. He pushed Yuga to the point where Yuga's road surpassed his providence, and now that his providence is no longer the number one thing in the universe, he kind of doesn't have a purpose anymore. in this show, and he's going to even have to, I think, do some inner thinking, because for the first time in his life, he's been challenged and he's lost, and he handled it very gracefully. I loved Neil's character. I thought what Neil did for Yuga was amazing, and it is a shame that I think he's going to be gone for a very long time. But can another character replace what he did for the show? I think it's very possible. And at the very end of this episode, much like at the end of 13, Yuga versus Roa, we got that teaser to what was going to be Neil. At the very end of this episode, we get what could be the beginning of an extremely historic moment for Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. We have 3 shadowy characters, the leader of the group clearly being a girl, saying, "We are going to utterly and surely destroy Rush Duels." Can one of those characters ground the show in reality like Neil did? Yeah, absolutely. Can one of those characters, if not all of them, push our main cast forward and make them gain a new ability, like Yuga had to gain Maximum, and become better versions of themselves and better duelists and challenge them? Absolutely. And those 3 characters have to be able to fill the void that is going to be left by Neil leaving the main plot. And I hope that's the case. And if this girl becomes a major villain and clearly an evil force in the show, then this girl is going to be the first main girl antagonist the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime has ever had before. I know a lot of people might say Yubel. To me, Yubel was always either both genders or genderless. I never considered Yubel to be a solely girl character. In the original version, she just wasn't. And then I know some people will say, like, Queen from Reigns, but I'm talking main antagonist. I'm talking a Zone level, a Rex Godwin level, a Yami Bakura, Yami Marek level, you know, a main Pegasus, a main antagonist of an arc. You can't argue that Queen was. Yubel certainly was, but I just don't feel that Yubel wasn't just a girl character. So she could be the first girl human, if she is a human, character, villain that we have ever had in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime. And the dude on the left reminds me of like a young Dennis Macfield with the bird on his shoulder, the cape. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that it's a girl leading this group. That is amazing and awesome. But my favorite design is by far this dude on the left. I absolutely am in love with the way that he looks. And of course, it's a shadowy character, so we don't really get more features than that. Will these guys be, you know, comedic villains? Will one of them be a comedic villain, or will they be serious threats that challenge Yuga and the group? Because remember, Yuga was really the only one that was severely challenged by Neil and challenged in this past arc by actually losing. Roman didn't lose, Gakuto didn't lose, Rook didn't lose. Are these going to be 3 characters, 3 villains that challenge our main cast as well as Yuga? It remains to be seen, but I'm interested to see where the show goes. I'm a little nervous, you guys know that, but I am so excited to talk to you guys and to just learn more about these guys. We have a joke episode coming up in 27 that still should be interesting. It'll be a good transitional episode. And yeah, I thought 26, the finale of this arc, was really, really well done. We're probably going to have a little bit of a dip in action going forward, but we'll see. But please, you guys, let me know your thoughts on episode 26 down below. Really excited to talk to you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. And a special thank you to my Platinum tier patrons, Horace Maye, Goosey Q, Panther J, Blue Maiden 28, Jarrett Buller, and Aura Dragon, and to my Diamond tier patrons, Jesse Wood, Latrell Smith, Pegasus Seiya, and Anime Kaput, and to my Egyptian God tier patrons, Chase Connelly and XZ's Lover 104. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon and who is a YouTube channel member. You guys help me out so much. Talking Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's up every Wednesday, 8-9 p.m. Eastern Time. The time always varies. It's one of those 2 times. This week, literally tomorrow night, we have Entame Subs on, the lovely human being who has been subbing these episodes on her own time, probably since like episode 10 or 11, and that's why we've been getting the subs quickly. She is going to be on the podcast tomorrow night. I am so stoked. Do not miss it. It's going to be an amazing time. Thank you all so much for coming by. I will talk to you down below, and I hope you have an amazing day.